Alrighty. So I'm going to go and get started here. I hope you guys can see my screen at this point. And so I want to thank you so much for joining today with Vector Choice. We're going to be talking about how Vector Choice runs on EOS with a tool called Strety. I hope you learn a little bit about operating systems today, tools, and sort of business operating systems. My name is Will Nobles. I am the CEO of Vector Choice. I started Vector Choice in 2008. I've got about 28 years experience. God, that makes me sound old. But 28 years experience running and dealing with technology, from being a network engineer, working my way up to the CEO level here at Vector Choice. I have done a lot to help companies grow their business from security, compliance, IT, and that is what Vector Choice's mission is all about. So, and talk a little bit more about Vector Choice, what we do for companies. We can do outsourced IT support. We do cybersecurity, phone hosting. We can back up and do backup recovery on your systems. We do a lot of compliance as a service, vCISO services, cloud solutions. We have where we offer Microsoft 365 setup and support of that. IT assessments and AI. Yes, that is a hot topic these days. But yes, we do AI projects. AI is a service. So if you want to learn more about how we could help you in your business, or if you might be a client on this call and you want to say, "Hey, I didn't know you guys did this," feel free to reach out to us. You can call us, obviously, and I'll have some contact information at the end of the webinar here, or you can email us at info@vectorchoice.com. And or be glad to email me directly at wnobles@vectorchoice.com. So let's talk a little bit today about business platforms. So we have EOS, and I'm going to get to that here in a second, but we have Rockefeller Habits, Metronomics, Scaling Up, and there's other business platforms out there. And what I really like about business platforms, one, I've read all these books and how all these platforms work, and they're all great platforms. Here at Vector Choice, we chose EOS. And really, it was the best fit for us and how we work with inside of our company and everything. And so, talk a little bit about EOS. It's Entrepreneurial Operating System. That's what it stands for. It's based off of a book from Gino Wickman called Traction. I highly encourage you guys to read that book. Even if you might not implement EOS or Strety into your environment, the book Traction is a very good read. Gino Wickman, I've met him. Awesome speaker, awesome guy, and he knows his stuff. But the EOS platform is a good platform to run your business off of. And so let's talk a little bit about how EOS actually looks at in the EOS model. One, oh, and by the way, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to throw it in the chat, and I'll have my admins on the call here, and she will stop me and tell me to shut up and stop talking a little bit, and so you guys can ask questions. So feel free to throw that in chat if you would like, or the Q&A. So the EOS model really focuses on a few categories. Vision, right? What is the vision of the company? Core value, core missions. Where are you going, and how are you going to get there? Obviously, data. Data is very important. No matter what kind of business you're in, data is super important there. And so they measure based on scorecards and measurables. And so every employee at Vector Choice has a scorecard or a KPI that they actually get measured on. And we meet weekly on this. And I'm going to show you a few examples of Strety and the dashboard here in a second. Obviously, processes very important in the EOS model. Do you have a process? And we call ours SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures. And what I really encourage you guys to do is, if you're not writing SOPs in your business today, one of the things that you really could do is start on Mondays. Ask every employee what's one SOP or how to you can write this week to help the company, and have them submit that to you by Friday. If you're the owner, CEO, or manager, have them submit that to you by Thursday. And on Friday, you review it. And then on Monday, the following Monday, it's FBA, followed by all. And so that's a good way to get processes in place. You shouldn't be in a situation where maybe you're the payroll person or you have a payroll person, and when they're on vacation, they have to run payroll every single time they're on vacation. They never get time to step away from the business. And I encourage you guys, you should have a process for everything inside your business. Then you got the traction part. That's the rocks. And look at rocks. EOS calls it rocks, but look at rocks as goals that you're trying to achieve in a particular time frame. So you should have bigger goals. You obviously have an annual goal or a yearly goal. You might have a 3 and a 5 and a 10-year goal. I'll tell you, 10-year goals these days are just not worth it. Because the world changes so fast these days. I think 10-year goals are way past. So really, a good 1, 2, and 3 year goal is really what I'd rather you look for. Um, but the traction piece of the rocks is what is the goal for the quarter to meet the annual goal that you want to accomplish? And then the meeting pulse is really where are you at with that particular rock? Now, when I say rock, I'm going to stay with rocks today. When I say rocks, I mean goals. So everybody's clear on that. And then issue. What are the problems that you're having, or your maybe your leadership is having at the time? And it's called IDS. And so we're going to IDS this problem. And it might not be a problem, but it's just something that one of the leaders in the team wants to bring up in the meeting that we're going to discuss. And an issue is okay, present the issue. What is the issue, and what do you actually need help with the issue? That's a good way to run it. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole EOS model and how to actually properly run an EOS meeting today, but I want to give you guys some ideas here. Then people, obviously every company, no matter what size, what you do, what industry you're in, people are the most important part of the business. And having the people in the right seats and the right people are very important. So EOS helps you make sure that the people that you have are in the right seats and there are the right people for your business. And it could be as you're going through this model, you can find people, unfortunately, in your business that might not fit today. And then, we talked about vision. So that's sort of the EOS model there and everything. Now, I wanted to bring that up to really get to the point of Strety. Now, this is a screenshot of Strety inside of Teams. And what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is Strety inside of Teams, but Strety does have a web interface that you can log into. If you're not using Microsoft Teams, you can log into Strety via Chrome or Explorer, or any of those browser applications. But we actually use Strety built into Teams, which is really nice because we live and breathe in Teams all the time. So this is just a screenshot here. I'm going to get into the actual function of this, and I'm going to actually show you that to you and demo that to you in real time here. So let's talk about integrations. So Strety does integrate to a lot of things. We use HubSpot in our company. We use Outlook. We use Teams. There's some other tools that if you're not in the technology business, that you might not use. But besides Teams, you have Slack. It integrates with Slack as well. Same concept as Teams. If you're not a Microsoft person, that's completely fine. But here are some tools that they integrate with. What I really like about Strety is that they're open for suggestions. They're open for other tools that they can integrate with other EOS platforms that are out there. Don't really integrate well, or don't integrate all. They're sort of standalone system, and a lot of them will say, well, that's what we meant for it to be, a standalone. But the problem is, in the day age that we live in, integrating things together and getting data faster makes you more effective, and you're not spending time moving data in between systems and stuff. So definitely take a look at some of the integrations there as you are looking at Strety. And the features in Strety. So what I really like about Strety is Strety plus EOS. And obviously it's based on the EOS platform and the book traction, but it brings a lot more into it than you might need to use or you might not. So, like for example, project management. We don't use it for a project management tool because we have our own tools for that. That's specific to managed service providers. But if you don't have a project management tool, that could be something that you can use. engagement surveys, playbooks, performance management, reviews, are a lot of things that are built into Strety, and they're continue building this out as well. So there's a lot of features inside of Strety that you might not recognize with EOS, and what the capability that it can do for you. Now, with the EOS plus tools and Strety, it gives you all that interconnecting, right? Now you've got Strety talk with your documents in it. You've got project plans. You've got performance reviews, which can go into your EOS system, and really your day-to-day meetings, your rocks, your KPIs, your goals that you have. So now you're pulling all that stuff together. Logan, is there any questions so far? Don't see anything. Okay. I hope I'm answering all the questions for you so far here. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to actually share with you guys the Strety platform. Okay, so you should see, and I'm not going to be able to show you everything in this because this is actually our live at Vector Choice, our live data. So I want to be very careful about not exposing everything to the public here with this. But this is what Strety looks like. Again, remember, I'm using Strety inside of Teams right now. Again, there is a web interface for that. So I'm going to sort of the home page here. I want to take you guys through this. So the agenda teams, these are the different teams, and I'm going to actually take you guys into the demo one here. But we have our leadership team, our account management, me and Logan, we have our own team together, our compliance team, our sales team, and so forth. So we've got all these teams that meet individual meetings that we are managing things. And so over here to the right, open items, these are the open items that I have under me that I'm working on here. And rocks and milestones. Normally, at a company our size, the CEO doesn't really have rocks. I'm more the visionary of the company, so I don't have rocks myself, but my team, my executive team, and all the way down, they have individual rocks and milestones that they have to meet. And so I just wanted to show a little bit of the home. As I walk through this, so I can look at activities, all the activities for today. Again, I'm going to go through this quickly so I don't expose too much information. You have reports that you can do on different teams, assessments, to-dos. You got all your teams here. You can create new teams as you have maybe different departments. You have your people section here that you can create all your users. And what's really nice is they have this HR centerpiece. The HR center is, and again, I'm not going to show you the reviews because it's live data of employees, so I don't want to share that information. But this is where if you have one-to-one with employees or any of their reviews. Now, I don't do I do reviews outside of this because it's the executive team, but all my rest of my executives do reviews inside of this system here, more confidential type stuff. So, but here are templates here for the reviews. You can edit these templates. You can change them, but you can do different things in here that you can make sure that is covered in the review. So, like for example, the accounting and finance manager. So the finance manager is doing a review with the accounting team, and what does that look like, and the information that needs to be gathered there to have a proper review. So now you actually are having all this stuff built into one system. So that's the reviews, people, companies. Under companies, you have VTOs, and what they call VTOs here, and I can at least share this with you guys, is VTO or core values or core focus, marketing strategy, and so forth. And then you have your accountability charts, and how everybody reports to everybody, and the whole accountability. So you have I guess a Visio, if you want to call it Visio, but a chart of all who reports to who and everything in the company. You have your you can do messaging in here. So if you want to send a blast message out to everyone, you can have company check-ins. So if you want to do company check-ins, you can do individual check-ins, but company check-ins as well. You can do playbooks. So let's say you have a sales playbook or a new hire playbook, and those types of things can be uploaded into the system. And then obviously rocks, which are the goals. You have the project section here, so you can, well, again, we don't use it for projects, but for project section, you can create projects. You can sign people to a project, so you can actually run projects with, if you do not have a project management system to use, you can use this as a project management system. But let me take you through a meeting here. So this is what and again, this is a demo, not a lot of data, but I'm going to show you guys how to add data. So in a meeting, L10 meeting, and what EOS calls L10, a L10 meeting is usually 90 minutes for the executive team. Now, a lot of other teams are 30 minutes or an hour meetings that they do. It depends on how many people are in that department, on how long they actually meet. But our executive team meeting is 90 minutes. And so I run the meeting as the executive meeting. And so I'll click start meeting agenda. Okay. And so in the start meeting agenda here, it will start timing. So the first part here is actually just seeing how everybody's doing. So every Monday we get on the meeting, and I'll say, "Hey Sarah, how was the weekend? Anything personal or business going on that's exciting, right? We want to talk about good things at this point. So the first 5 minutes of the meeting, really start getting to know your team. What are they doing on the weekends? What challenges are they having? But again, you want to keep this as a positive light in this particular section of the meeting here. And then we can go to scorecards. So I created just an example scorecard here for you guys. CSAT scores. Everybody knows what CSAT scores are. I encourage everybody in any type of company to do CSAT scores to see how your customers are judging your team and yourself on how you're performing. But the score here. So let's say I am responsible for the CSAT scores for the company, and my target is a 95% or higher in the CSAT score. So, and one of the things, so I can come here and I will come here and edit this, and I can make changes to say, it's a number, but it's a percentage. So I want to do a percentage here, and I could come here and change this. So now it's actually percentage. That's what I really wanted to do. But that's some of the little quick changes you can do. So I want 95% or higher in the CSAT score. Well, as long as it's 95% or higher, as you see here, the example numbers I've given, you'll see that it's green, but it drops below that particular CSAT score goal target, it's going to turn red. Now, what I tell my team when I meet with them, and every executive has probably in our executive meetings at least 8 to 10 particular numbers, KPIs that they're measuring, reporting to me every Monday. And my goal is it to all be green. Okay, their goal is for it to be green. Now, yes, things happen. Will something drop below and be red once in a while? Yes, there will be. One red is not a big deal. Okay, and they put a note. So, like here, if I click in here and say bad review from XYZ client, right? So now they can put a note and I can hover over here. Oh, okay, we got a bad review from XYZ client. Okay, I understand. How do we address that? What do we do to solve that problem? Did we reach out to the person and apologize and so forth? And then we're going to go that route with it. But then we move forward. Now, 2 reds, 3 reds, week over week in a row. Now that's a pattern, that's a problem, and then that's when you as a CEO should jump into the company, into that department and help fix what is going on, and really hold your team accountable for those things. So that is sort of what scorecards for. You can have multiple scorecards, you can have multiple people's names that they're responsible for, and so forth. You have weekly scorecards. You can have monthly scorecard numbers here. So you click on monthly, quarterly, and annually. So the goal is your weekly numbers will drive what you want to hit annually. Okay, and then monthly and quarterly, and so forth. So that's scorecards, and I encourage everybody in the company at least should have 3 KPIs, 3 to 5 that you're measuring them on. Every single person in the company, at some form or fashion, no matter what industry you're in, what type of employees you have, 3 to 5, and then it should roll up to the CEO into a combined number. And so at the leadership meeting, I'm looking at the combined number. My direct reports need to be looking at the individual numbers to fix a particular employee. Are they in the right seat or so forth? So let's talk about rocks here. Rocks are goals. Remember, rocks is just EOS saying. And let me go back here real fast. So in the scorecard, let's say that there is an issue going. So I can come here and click issue, and I can say review CSAT scores. Okay. And then I can create an issue, and I'll show you here where that goes into the issue. But you can anywhere you can make notes, you can create to dos, headlines, and so forth throughout this whole process. So now we go over the scorecards. The scorecards should be very quick. It should be factual numbers. One, you should have your numbers in before the meeting, and then it's just reviewing them quickly and creating an issue if there is an issue. Okay. Then I go to the rocks section. So all my executive team will have company rocks. So I'm going to create a company rock here. So um, I have added 300K of new revenue for the quarter. Okay. And then I could come here and say, I want that in current quarter. So that will be June 30th here. And I can sign it to me and I can hit create. Okay. So now this is a rock for me. Let's say if I'm the sales manager or over sales, I want to grow the company by 300K there. Now, what are the things that need to be done? So now you can add to dos here. So I want to add, or I can add milestones as well. So maybe milestones is okay. If I'm going to add 300K, I need to add 100K per month. So a milestone might be I come here and 100K and I put a due date of April 30th, right? So that is a milestone. Now I can see if milestones are being slipped. And then what are you going to do? What are the sales efforts that you're going to take to grow that 300K? And it might be to do two webinars in the quarter. It could be to do social media post and X amount, right? So what are all the to dos, and when are you going to do those by? And then now you start holding yourself accountable or that employee accountable of getting that rock or goal done. So by just setting a goal is not going to get you anywhere. Okay. Well, it's good. It's a good start having a goal, but how are you going to get to the end game at end of the quarter to hit that goal? What are the efforts are you going to do to get to that? And that's where the to dos really come in and the milestones come in. And so you can do a check-in here. So the check-in today, this is either on track, off track, done, not done, or canceled. Okay. So let's say the only time you're going to cancel a rock is when the company shifts a different direction. We're just going to cancel it. But it could be that it's off track because end of April we only added 20K of a new revenue, not 100K. So that's definitely going to make it off track. So you're going to change off track and only added 20K in April, right? And so I hit save. Now I'm tracking the notes, why it was off track, why is it back on track there. So that's sort of how rocks work. Again, rocks, you should have company rocks, and then you should have department rocks and individual rocks, and all those should drive up to the company rocks initiative, and the quarterly rocks should drive the annual goals as well. So headlines. Headlines could be anything from we hired a new tech. Okay, so that's a headline. Hey guys, we hired a new tech in Atlanta. I just wanted to let everybody to know. Boom. I click that and that's done, right? So headlines are just something quick that you're informing your department of. No, you're not going to IDS it. You're not going to troubleshoot. Now, let's say someone has a problem with that and they want to IDS it. So you can come here and say create issue. And now I created an issue, and we'll come back to that. So I can still close the headline because I've already announced it, but someone has an issue with it. So I'm gonna come back to issues here in a second. Now we add department updates. This is not part of the EOS model. You can add custom agenda items here. So we do that by department updates. And I just gave you a few examples here. So each executive will report of their departments, just really quick, how things are going, what's the hot items in that department, and what are they working on, and everything. So it's just really a quick update from each executive that gets everybody involved in the meeting and talking. Then you have to-dos. So as you saw that I added items here from the rocks to dos, it moved it to dos. So as you see, it's got my picture here that is a to do for me. And then even at the home page, I'm not going to click out of this, but at the home page, it's going to show you the to dos that I have and the due dates of those. Now you can come here and change due dates for certain things and stuff like that, but you'll have all the items there for to dos. Now you have the agenda review, things to do that really need to be done before the next meeting. To dos really should be either come from the rocks or they should be solved within the next week of from the agenda view side of things. Now, the issues. Remember, I created two issues from scorecards and I created an issue from the headline. Well, this is where the issue section goes. Now, again, I say they're not necessarily issues. It's just things that we're going to talk about. So at this point, as you see, the meeting has gone pretty smoothly and very quickly, right? You don't want to spend a lot of times on the first part. Anything that you need to drive down is to the issues. Now we're at the issue, and this is the guts of the meeting. This is really where it's a 60 minutes of the 90-minute meeting where the issues are talked about. And so you can actually come here and have people vote on issues. So let's say I vote on this issue and I vote on this issue. I hate to say I'm only the person in the meeting and there's only two issues, but I can vote up to three issues and then you can sort that. And depending on what everybody voted for, that's what you talk about first. Whichever issue has the most votes, we talk about. So let's say we have five people in the executive team. We have five votes for review CSAT scores. We're actually going to vote. We're going to start talking about that. So here we're going to actually talk about it. We're going to open it up and we're going to take notes on what we decide. So let's say that my issue was the CSAT. I'm going to say, hey, John, and John's our CTO. I'm going to say, hey, John, we've had 3 weeks of CSAT scores below 95. What is happening? What's being done about it? And what do we need to change? Okay. So we're going to have that conversation. And then John's going to say, okay, well, this is what I'm done and this is what I'm doing. So the notes will go in here, but then you can add a to do to John to say, make XYZ change, right? And then you can create the to do for John, and you can assign this to different people that's in the meeting and create that to do from that. And then that's going to assign a to do. Now, we've talked about the issue. We're done with it. So I can then just check that. You get the confetti and you're done with that particular issue. Now we go to the next issue. So once all issues are covered, or you're at the end, can I zoom in? Let's see. I don't know if I can. I apologize, guys. Let's see. I don't think I can zoom in on this, so I apologize. Um, I do have a big screen here. That's probably one of the reasons that it's showing smaller. Um, and so now I'm finished with my issues. Okay. So once the issue is done, and all my issues are done, or time is about to expire for the 90-minute meeting, you never want to go over the meeting. Okay. Respect everybody's time. But let's say you might have 5 things still left. That just has to wait until the next meeting. But once either you're finished with all your issues and or time has expired, you're going to go to the conclude. Okay. And here is all the to dos that were created. And then you can vote. So here you can vote how the meeting went and rate it 1 to 10, 10 being the best meeting ever, 9 is being, hey, it was a good meeting. And then all the way down to 1 to it went totally off those rails. And so that judges how everybody feels about the meeting. So everybody can vote independently, and you can actually make it private as well if you want to make it where you don't see what everybody. Now the CEO will see it, but everybody doesn't see what the meeting is voted on and everything. So then I end the agenda, complete meeting. and you can upload your own videos there, and then take me to summary, and it's going to give me a summary of the meeting and everything that we covered. Okay. So that is the gist of it. I apologize; it was smaller. I wish I had was able to get that larger for you guys from the picture. But Strety is a great tool, and I'll be glad to show you guys more if you guys want to do a one-on-one call with me. I'll be glad to do that as well. But Strety is a great tool to use in your company, and and actually helps you move the company along in the right way. So you're not just managing off of memory, off of notepads, and all over the place. It brings everybody in one place together. I do have a free trial for you guys. If you go to vectorchoice.com/Strety, Miss Logan will post that in the chat, or you can scan the QR code. Yes, it is a safe QR code. I would not do that from your technology provider. It is a safe QR code, but you can get a free trial with Strety and try it out. Feel free to reach out to us at Vector Choice if you have any questions on that. Our phone number's here. You can email info@vectorchoice.com or go to our website, vectorchoice.com there, and ask us any questions, especially if you're a client or someone looking at this. We'll be glad to help you along and answer any questions of how we do things specifically inside of Strety. Again, I will go back to say, get the book Traction from Gino Wickman. Great read, will help you understand that. There are EOS implementers out there as well. We started EOS probably, I want to say 9, 10 years ago. We started out with an EOS implementer, but you don't have to have that. I can definitely, even just this call here, hopefully helps you, but I can definitely help you guys out on that as well if you guys are interested in some help there. So again, take us up on the offer of the free trial. It's there for you. If you are interested at all or have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And Miss Logan, is there any questions that we have there? Okay. So we were just getting started with EOS Journey, and we just signed up for Strety. Would love any insight that you could provide for someone who is just starting out with the platform. I think the biggest thing is reading the book, number one, um, doing the proper onboarding with Strety and the Strety team, integrate it with the tools that you have available to you, and maximize it, and then only implement at the executive level first. Get the process down that you would like to do in the executive level, and then roll it out to the rest of the team. That would be the things. That would be the things I would recommend for that. Good question, though. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it so much for being on. Again, you can sign up for a free trial at vectorchoice.com/Strety. And also, please feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any questions. And thank you so much for being on today. Have a wonderful afternoon.